Hello, welcome back. So in this part, we will be discussing the design aspects of the bolt connections. So in the design aspect, the first thing that we need to consider is the grade of bolt. We need to understand the grade of bolt and how do we interpret that grade? So the mild steel bolts, which are available, which are also the black bolt. So these black bolts are generally of class 4.6. And these bolts, which are the simplest black bolt, they are basically of medium grade steel, and they are ductile, and they generally used in the light low rise structure. Similarly, if we talk about the high strength bolt, their class is 8.8, 10.9 or higher, and their properties, they are alloy steel, and they are heat treated, generally normalizing, annealing, quenching, all these kind of heat treatment are given to these bolts. And their ductility is low, as I mentioned earlier also, that as the carbon content in the steel increases, the hardness increases, the strength will increase, but at the same time the ductility will decrease. So the ductility of these bolts are low as compared to the 4.6 class bolt. These are extensively used in the construction under the, where there is dynamic loading, there is fatigue load. So there, uh, high strength bolts are used. Now we will try to understand what is the meaning of this number 4.6 or 8.8, or how do we interpret this number. So if we are given this number, we will be able to understand the ultimate strength of the bolt and as well as the yield strength of the bolt. Now how do we determine those strength using this number, that I will be explaining here. So the class can be identified as x point y. So x here means this number, and y here means this number. Okay, so how do we determine the ultimate and yield strength of the bolt? So if we need to determine the tensile strength of the bolt or the ultimate strength of the bolt, then we can simply get that by multiplying the x number by 100. So here the 4, if we multiply 4 with 100, we will be able to identify the ultimate strength of the bolt, which will be 400. So here if I replace x by 4, so I can say that class 4 bolt has ultimate strength of 400 MPa or Newton per mm square. Okay. Similarly, there you see the example. So ultimate strength of 4.6 class bolt will be 400 MPa. Similarly, ultimate strength of grade 8.8 will be 800 MPa. Similarly, we can find out the ultimate strength of 10.9 also. So it will be 1000 MPa. Now, how do we find out the ultimate, the yield strength of the bolt? So if we multiply this y digit with the ultimate strength that we just find out here. So this ultimate strength is basically the Fu. Okay, and here we are supposed to find out the value of Fy. So Fy can be calculated if we multiply this with the Fu. So in case of grade 4.6, Fy will be 0.6 multiplied by 400. So the value will be 240 MPa. Okay, so this is how we calculate the ultimate and yield strength of the bolt by interpreting these numbers. So there are the example. So grade 4.6 will have ultimate strength of 400 MPa and yield strength of 240 MPa. So these Fy and Fu will be used in the calculation of design strength of the bolt. Similarly, we are also required to calculate the area of bolt. So now area are of two types. One is the net effective area and the other is gross area. So now how do we calculate that? As I mentioned earlier, this will be the dia of shank, or it is also known as nominal dia of bolt. Similarly, the least dia, this will be called the D root. So area calculated using D root will be called net effective area, and area of bolt calculated using this D will be called gross area. So all these area, both area will be used while calculating the design strength of the bolt. Now they will be used in different criteria that we will see. So AS here means the gross area. So gross area can be calculated using this. So D here is the dia of the shank or nominal dia of the bolt. Similarly, to calculate the net tensile stress area, so there we will use D root in place of D to calculate the net effective area or net tensile area. So this area, this AN is approximately equals to 0.78 times of AS. So if we are given D value, we will be able to find out the value of AN by simply putting the value of AS here. So 78 to 80% of gross area is basically the net effective area. So both of these area will be used accordingly. Okay, so this area, which area should be used, whether we use AS or AN, it will be dependent on the location of shear plane, where this shear plane is located, whether it is on the thread or it is on the shank. So that we will see later. So now coming to the design strength of the bolt, and now specifically we are talking about the bearing type of bolt. So bearing type of bolt may have strength in tension, it may have strength in shear, it will have strength in combined tension and shear, and bolt will also have strength in bearing and the block shear. This block shear aspect will be covered later in other topic. I will be just giving you a glimpse of this failure. So now, first of all, we will talk about the tensile strength of the bolt. How do we find out the tensile strength? So tensile strength of bolt, design tensile strength of bolt is given by this formula, where TDB means design strength of bolt in tension. Now TNB means the nominal strength of the bolt, nominal tensile strength of the bolt, and gamma MB is the safety factor. So now to get the value of TDB, gamma MB can be determined using the IS code. Now to get the value of TNB, the formula which is also given in the IS code, the formula to calculate the TNB will be 0.9 times of FUB into AN. Now FUB is the ultimate strength of bolt, AN is the effective area, net effective area of the bolt, as I mentioned in the previous slide. And this force, this strength should be less than this. So we need to check the same strength with this formula. So if it is less than this, then it will be okay. Otherwise, we will have to take the strength of this. So these are the notations of different terms. TDB is the design tensile tension force on bolt. TNB is the nominal capacity of bolt in tension. Similarly, gamma MB is the partial safety factor on ultimate tensile strength of bolt, which is 1.25, as I mentioned in the previous lecture. Gamma M naught, it is the partial safety factor on yield strength. So we need to understand, whenever we are applying safety factor on ultimate strength, generally the value of safety factor will be 1.25. If we are applying safety factor on yield strength, then generally the value of safety factor will be 1.1. So this is in terms of strength. In terms of load factor, it will be around 1.5. So I have already shown both of these tables in the previous lecture, so you can refer that. Then FUB is the ultimate strength of the bolt. So we can determine this value by if we know the grade of bolt. So we will be able to understand the FUB. FYB can also be determined Then ANB is the net tensile area, which is around 0.78 times of ASB. And ASB is the bolt shank area. So sometimes in some places this value may be shown AS or ASB or AV. So all these things are same. So the notation may be different in different places. Okay. So now if we try to determine the value of shear strength of the bolt. So for a single bolt, the shear strength can be, design shear strength can be determined using this formula. So here VDSB is the design shear strength of the bolt, VNSB is the net shear strength of the bolt or nominal shear strength of the bolt, and gamma MB is again the safety factor. So now the major thing is how do we determine this value? So the value is, the formula for this is already given in the IS code, and which is this: VNSB is equals to FUB, NN, ANB, and NS. Now there are new terms which came in this formula, which is NN and NS. Other terms I have already mentioned. FUB is the ultimate strength of the bolt, and ANB is the net effective area of the bolt. ASB is the net, the gross area of the bolt. Now NN, we need to understand what is NN and what is NS. So I will be showing you that in the next. But as I mentioned in this formula will be applicable if we are calculating the shear strength of a single bolt. But if we have multiple bolts in a joint, which is the normal and practical case, in that case this strength is reduced because of some factors, and the formula becomes like this. So ultimately this formula is multiplied by these three factors, and these three factors are basically the reduction factor. And why we are using this? Because this formula will be used if multiple bolts are used in a joint. So when we use multiple bolts, then the method of superimposition doesn't work. So like here it says overall contribution is not equal to the sum of the individual capacity. So if we are using the 5 bolts in a joint, and if we calculate strength of 1 bolt, and if we to calculate the strength of 5 bolt, if we multiply them with the strength of 1 bolt, then it will not work. It will not work in case if we are using the multiple bolts. So this thing will not work here because of some factor, and those factors are beta Lj, beta Lg, and beta Pk. So we will understand what is the meaning of beta Lj, Lg, Pk. So we will try to understand them. So the reduction of the strength is largely because of these 3 factors. So we will try to understand them, and we will understand how do we calculate these factors. So these are the notations again here. Now the important thing that I have mentioned in the previous slide was NN and NS. Now what is the meaning of NN? Now I'm again showing you in the previous slide. So I am talking about this one, NN and NS. Now what is the meaning of this? So now here it says NN is the number of shear plane with threads intercepting the shear plane. Well, bolt may have some threads and bolt may have shank. So as we know, bolt is composed of this kind of configuration, and within some length there are some threads, and this may be without thread. So this is a shank length, and this is the thread length. And this is the shank length. So if the shear plane lies in this, then we will use NS. If the shear plane lies in the threads, then we will use NN. Well, most of the cases, if it is not mentioned in the numerical, generally we consider NN, which lies in the threads. So if it is not mentioned in the numerical, then we will consider NN. When we will solve numerical, then we will better understand how do we take the value of NN and NS from a particular problem. Now coming to the reduction, the first reduction, that is because of the beta Lj. Now what is the meaning of beta Lj? Well, this beta Lj counts the long joint. If the joint length is very long, if the length of joint is very long, then there is a reduction in the strength of the bolt. And because as you see, this is the shear diagram. So you see here the shear force is more, while on this bolt, which is in the middle, the shear force is less. So this variation, because of this variation, the strength of the joint is not equivalent. As I mentioned earlier, like if we calculate the strength of one bolt and if we multiply that with the 5 bolt, it will not work like that because of the different factors like the length of joint, and because of length of the joint, shear variation occurs. So the farthest bolt will be experiencing more shear as compared to the, I mean the nearest, this one is the nearest. So this nearest bolt will experience more shear as compared to the farthest. So for this force, this joint, this bolt is the nearest, and this middle bolt is the farthest. Similarly, for this force, this is the nearest and this is the farthest. So this is how we can see the variation of the shear strength. So beta Lj can be calculated using this formula. So in this formula, Lj is the length of joint, D is the nominal dia of the bolt, and the value of beta Lj, it should not be less than, I mean it should be between 0.75 and 1. It should not be less than 0.75 and it should not exceed 1. So the value of beta Lj will generally lie between 0.7 or 0.75 and 1. Now coming to the another reduction factor, which is beta Lg. Now beta Lg, what it counts? It counts the effect of grip. When there is a large grip length, then there are possibilities that bolt may be experiencing bending effect also. So because if the grip is large, so this is the grip length. This is the grip length of the bolt. So if this length is large, then bolt may experience the bending. And if bolt experience bending, then the strength of bolt will affect, and therefore the strength will reduce, and that is why there is a factor which is called beta Lg. And beta Lg can be calculated using this relation. So all these relations are given in the IS code. So beta Lg is this 8D by 3D plus Lg, and it should be less than or equals to beta Lj, which was for long joint, which I just discussed in the previous slide. And Lg should be less than or equals to 8 times of D. So it should be less than beta Lj, as well as it should be less than 8 times of D. D is basically the beta Lg should be less than beta Lj, and Lg is the length of grip, and it should be less than 8 times of D. 8 times of D means 8 times of nominal dia of the bolt. So it should not exceed 8 times of nominal dia of bolt. So these are the conditions that we need to follow while designing the joints. Similarly, then next reduction is because of the packing plate. Well, packing plate can be used, say for example, if there is a section, say this is the lower column, and if we need to join the other column which may be of different cross section. So like for example, this is the ground floor column and this is the first floor column, and the dimension of this first floor column is less as compared to the ground floor column. In that case, if we need to join these two columns, then we may use a splice plate, which will be like this. So to accommodate this space, sometimes what we do is we insert a plate so that the grips becomes better. So then we can apply our bolt like this. Okay, so this packing plate generally what it does is it reduces the strength of the joint. So to counter this effect, we calculate this factor which is called beta pk, and it measures this effect of packing plate, and we can calculate this using this formula tpk by 80, 1 minus tpk by 80, and tpk is basically the thickness of thicker packing plate. So if we are using two different thickness plate, two plates of different thickness, then we will take the thickness which will be more, or which will be the higher one. Similarly, until now I have discussed the strength of bolt in shear and in tension. So bolt may experience tension and shear altogether may also. In some cases, there are chances that bolt may experience shear as well as tension. So in that case, we need to consider the combined effect of shear. We need to consider combined effect of shear and tension also. So some theorists, some researchers has given some interaction diagram of the combination of shear force and tension in a bolt at the same time. So this diagram you can see, this is the interaction diagram of shear force and tension force. So this shear is basically the ratio of external shear force and the VDSB. So this is basically this ratio, and T is basically T by TdV. So TdV is the design strength, design tension strength of the bolt, and this is the design shear strength of the bolt, VDSB. Okay, so these the interaction diagram, we can draw the interaction diagram using these two values, and the equation of this curve. This curve may be elliptical or it may be spherical, or I mean the circular. So the equation of this curve gives us the value of strength of bolt in combination of shear and tension. I mean to counter shear and tension altogether, we get the strength relation of the bolt. So the equation of this curve will be this one. So TB is the external applied tension force on the bolt. TDB is the strength of bolt, tensile strength of the bolt. Similarly, VB is the externally applied shear force on the bolt, and VDSB is the design shear strength of the bolt. And all these equation, these values should be less than 1, because if it is more than 1, it means the applied load or applied effect will be higher than the design strength, and in that case the joint will fail. So to check this effect, we need to just verify that this effect should be less than 1. If it is less than 1, then the bolt will be safe in the combination of shear and tension. If it is greater than 1, it means our bolt is not sufficient to carry that shear and tension altogether. So these are the notations. Similarly, now if we try to calculate the bearing strength of the bolt, so till now we have seen the expressions of tension strength, shearing strength, their combination. Now we will see the bearing strength of the bolt. So bearing strength of the bolt can be calculated as using this formula. So VDPB is the design bearing strength of the bolt. VNPB is the nominal or the characteristic strength of the bolt. So we can calculate NPB using this formula. So this formula is also given in the IS code, and it is 2.5 times of DT. D is the nominal dia of bolt. FUP is the ultimate strength of the plate. KB is a reduction factor. Well, this reduction factor in the bearing strength is applied to counter some other things. I will explain that later. And T is the thickness of plate which are experiencing the bearing effect. So this reduction of Kb is applied to avoid the end failure or the split edge failure. In the previous part, I have explained the failure criteria, modes of failure of the bolt sections. So there I have explained that there are sometimes split edge failure, which means if we provide insufficient edge distance, if this distance is insufficient, if this is insufficient, then there may be chances that it may fail like this. So this is called splitting failure. To avoid that, sometimes this Kb factor is applied so that it will check the this split failure. Kb can be calculated using these four. I mean, it will be compared with these three or four values. So one is E by 3D whole. D whole means dia of the hole. So this D hole means the hole which is being there in the plate. So this dia of hole will be larger than the dia of the bolt, as I already mentioned. Similarly, this will be the second criteria, and the third criteria will be FUB upon FUP. FUB is the ultimate strength of the bolt and FUP is the ultimate strength of the plate, and then 1. So we will calculate Kb with these four criteria, and the minimum of these value will be taken as the value of Kb. So this is to calculate the bearing strength of the bolt. Then the next criteria, which is the block shear. Well, block shear is sometimes experienced in that what happens is sometimes because of the tension force or because of this shear force, sometimes this whole block may fail. So this kind of failure is called block shear. So in that case, one single bolt is not failing, the whole block is failing. So this kind of thing also happens when there is a large force. So to avoid that, sometimes we conduct checks to avoid such kind of failure also. Okay, so this is called block shear failure. So sometimes in some important connections, this check should also be performed. Now, to get the important parameter of the joint, which is called efficiency of the joint. Now, how do we calculate the efficiency of the joint? Well, it depends on the strength of the joint. Strength of the joint will be higher if the number of holes will be lesser. So it says the joint which causes minimum reduction in the strength is said to be more efficient. Well, it means if in the joint, if we have less number of hole, then the strength of plate or strength of the joint will be more. So it says for better efficiency, a section should have the least number of holes at the critical section. So now how do we calculate the efficiency of any joint? So efficiency of the joint can be calculated using this formula: strength of the joint per pitch length divided by strength of solid pitch per length, solid plate per pitch length, and hole multiplied by 100. So efficiency generally we get in terms of percentage. So strength of joint, so this strength of joint generally is the lesser of shear strength of the bolt and bearing strength of the bolt and the tension or tearing strength of the plate. Tearing strength of the plate. So this strength of joint will be the lesser of this shearing strength of bolt, bearing strength of bolt, and tearing strength of the plate. So this will be of plate. Okay, so if we calculate these three strength, then we will compare which one is lesser. So that will be the strength of the joint. And then if we divide it by the solid plate in which there is no hole, then the ratio will be multiplied by 100 and we will be able to calculate the efficiency. So as I said, efficiency is expressed in percentage. So in the next part, I will be showing you all these formulas in the IS code, and then we will have some illustrative examples to understand the concept well. Thank you.